Welcome back everyone, it's Carol here at Oak House Journals and we're on week 12 of the Slow Stitched Show Challenge being hosted by Lisbeth Degn, and the Dogma rules for this week are to stitch together a piece of light and dark coloured fabric from the same colour family. So I actually chose to use a fairly light blue and white fabric. Not exactly in the same colour family, but close enough, I think. So here are my two pieces of fabric torn to the same size, and here I'm just showing the difference in texture of my pieces of fabric. The white is quite an open weave. I've got the two pieces pinned together, and here they're sewn together. And as you can see, I just did that on my sewing machine. Then I pressed the seam open, so that's what it looks like on the right side. Now, as my pieces were larger than my page, I had to rip them to the right size. The scraps of fabric that you're seeing at the top of this picture are what I ripped away. And this is my final piece, pressed, stitched, and the right size and ready to go. So the next Dogma rule was to trace a circle over both pieces. So I'm using that pot there and a Friction marker pen, and that's what my circle looked like once I'd drawn it with the Friction marker pen. The third Dogma rule this week was the thread colour, and we had to choose two colours to match the fabrics that we'd chosen and then sew with each coloured thread on the opposite fabric colour. So as you can see, I've got blue there, which I'm going to be stitching on the white, and the white thread I'm going to be stitching on the blue. The fourth and final Dogma rule was the stitch that we're supposed to be stitching, and the stitch is sheaf stitch, and we're stitching it randomly all over the inside of the circle. And sheaf stitch is very simple. It's just 3 straight parallel stitches, and then you catch them together in the middle with a single stitch going in the opposite direction, so that it looks like a sheaf of corn or a sheaf of wheat that you would have seen out in the fields in the old days, old farming days. So here I am just going in with my first couple of stitches, got a little piece of fluff on my fabric there that I'm just removing. And as you can see, I'm stitching with the blue thread on the white. I'm just using a single strand of DMC thread for the whole of this project this week, or this challenge piece this week. And I absolutely love the look of the blue against the white, and that open weave white vintage linen fabric is absolutely gorgeous to stitch. The blue was a piece of 100% cotton from an old pillowcase that I had in amongst my fabric stash. I've ripped that up ages ago. I've used it for many projects, and this was a little portion that I had left over. Not quite a dark fabric, but I just fancied doing something nice and delicate this week, so I'm just doing my first few couple of stitches. I'll speed up the camera now and then I'll move on. And there we go. So this is the blue half of my circle, all nicely stitched. Really love how that looks. This is how my stitching looks on the blue. A close-up for you. There we go. And this is what it looks like stuck in my journal. A lovely delicate piece, and I'm really pleased how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, as always. Take care now, and bye from me. Bye bye now.